I watched my sister-in-law Maya scroll through her phone at my kitchen table, her perfectly manicured nails tapping against the screen, and I knew exactly what she was about to ask me, because I'd lived this day before. "So, Sarah," she said, looking up with those wide, innocent eyes that had fooled me once, "I heard you joined that new luxury gym downtown, Elite Fitness Club?" My husband Derek glanced up from his laptop. Yeah, Sarah finally did something for herself. Miracle of the century. The casual cruelty in his voice didn't sting anymore, not like it had the first time. "It must be so expensive," Maya continued, her voice dripping with false sympathy. "Derek mentioned the membership is, what, $5,000 a year?" "6,000, I said calmly, taking a sip of my coffee. "But it's worth it." In my first life, I had been defensive here, apologetic even, for spending money on myself after years of sacrificing everything for Derek's career, his family, his comfort. I had stammered about how I deserved it, how I'd been working so hard. This time I just smiled. "The thing is," Maya leaned forward conspiratorially, "I've been wanting to get back in shape after the baby, and gyms are just so expensive. I was wondering, maybe since we're family, you could let me use your membership sometimes? Just when you're not using it, of course." There it was, the beginning of the end. Derek didn't even look up. "That's a great idea. You should share it with Maya. Family helps family, right?" In my past life, I had hesitated. I had mentioned that the contract was very strict, that it was a premium membership in my name only, that sharing could violate the terms. Maya had cried. She'd talked about how hard it was being a new mom, how she just wanted to feel like herself again, how she thought we were close enough that I would help her. Derek had called me selfish. His mother had called me petty. His father had said I was showing my true colors, that I came from humble beginnings and didn't understand how real families supported each other. So I had caved. I had given Maya my membership card and my access code, and she had destroyed me with it. But that was before. Before I woke up on my 32nd birthday, 3 years in the past, with all my memories intact and a second chance burning in my chest like swallowed fire. "Of course you can use it," I said, and the relief that flooded Maya's face was almost worth everything that was coming. "We're family." Derek finally looked up, surprise flickering across his features. He'd expected a fight. They all had him. "Really?" Maya's voice pitched higher. "Oh my God, Sarah, thank you so much. You're the best sister-in-law ever." She jumped up and hugged me, and I let her, feeling nothing but the cold certainty of what I was about to do. "I'll get you the card and the access information," I said. "The gym is really strict about their policies, though, so make sure you read through. The member handbook I'll send you, it's important." "Oh, absolutely." Maya was already pulling out her phone. "I'll be so careful with it. When can I start?" "Tomorrow if you want. I'll drop off the card tonight." After they left, Maya bubbling with excitement, Derek actually giving me an approving nod, I sat alone in the kitchen and let myself remember. In my first life, Maya had started going to Elite Fitness Club 3 times a week. She'd loved it. She'd posted about it constantly on social media, tagging the location, showing off in the luxury locker rooms, posing in her designer workout clothes in front of the floor-to-ceiling windows that overlooked the city. She'd also brought friends. Lots of friends. The thing about Elite Fitness Club was that it wasn't just expensive, it was exclusive. The contract I had signed was 47 pages long. I'd read every word this time, in my second life, before I signed. I'd memorized the important parts. Section 12, paragraph 4. Membership is non-transferable and for the exclusive use of the named member. Any use of membership privileges by unauthorized individuals constitutes a material breach of contract. Section 18, paragraph 2. In the event of membership sharing, unauthorized access, or any form of membership fraud, the member shall be liable for liquidated damages in the amount of $10,000 per violation, plus any additional costs incurred by the club. And the most beautiful part, Section 18, paragraph 7. The club maintains comprehensive security footage and access logs. Any unauthorized use detected through these systems shall be considered conclusive evidence of violation. In my first life, I hadn't known any of this. I'd skimmed the contract, signed where they told me to sign, and handed over my credit card information. 4 months after I let Maya use my membership, I'd received a letter from Elite Fitness Club's legal department. They had evidence of 37 separate instances of unauthorized membership use. They had footage. They had access logs. They had screenshots from Maya's Instagram showing her and various friends checked in at the club. The total damages, $370,000. I had been devastated, terrified. I'd called Maya immediately, but she'd said it wasn't her fault, that she didn't know it was against the rules, that I should have told her more clearly. Derek had sided with her. His parents had said I should have been more responsible if I was going to have such an expensive membership. The legal battle had destroyed me financially. Derek had refused to help pay, saying it was my problem since it was my membership. We'd had to drain our savings, my savings really, since I'd been the one working 60-hour weeks at my corporate job while Derek found himself through various failed business ventures. In the end, we'd settled for $200,000, which I'd had to take out a loan to pay. A loan that followed me through the divorce a year later when Derek left me for someone from his networking group, someone younger, without baggage, without debt. Maya had never apologized. At the divorce proceedings, she'd actually laughed about the gym situation, calling me naive. But I wasn't naive anymore. I was reborn. And I was ready. The next morning, I drove to Maya's house with the membership card in a sealed envelope. I'd prepared everything carefully. Inside was the card, a printed copy of the important member guidelines that highlighted the sharing policy in yellow, and a friendly note. Dear Maya, so excited for you to try out Elite Fitness. Just remember, this membership is registered in my name only, so please don't bring guests or let anyone else use it. The gym is very strict about this, and violations come with huge fines. But you'll be fine as long as it's just you. Enjoy. XOXO, Sarah. I handed it to her at her front door. She barely glanced at the papers. Thanks so much, she said, already pulling out the membership card to look at it. Oh, wow, it's like a black credit card. So fancy. Did you read the guidelines? I asked. I'll look at them later, she waved her hand dismissively. I'm sure it's fine. It's just a gym, right? I smiled. Right, just a gym. I drove away feeling lighter than I had in years. I knew Maya's patterns. In my first life, I'd heard all about her gym routine ad nauseum. She went Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 10 a.m. She loved the yoga studio. She loved the juice bar. She loved taking selfies in the Instagram famous bathroom with the rose gold fixtures. And she loved bringing her friends. Her best friend Christina came first that very Friday. I knew because Christina posted about it. Best workout ever at Elite Fitness Club, thanks at Maya Robinson for the hookup. The following Monday, Maya brought her sister Emma. I saw the Instagram story, both of them in matching workout sets, the Elite Fitness Club logo clearly visible behind them. By the end of the first week, 4 different people had used my membership. I did nothing. I went to the gym myself on Tuesday and Thursday evenings, my designated times, and I worked out in peace. The staff greeted me by name. Everything was normal. In my first life, I hadn't known any of this was happening. I'd been too busy with work, too trusting. I'd found out only when the legal letter arrived. This time, I knew exactly what was happening, and I let it happen. How's the gym? I asked Maya at Sunday dinner at Derek's parents' house. Her face lit up. Oh my God, it's amazing! I've gone 4 times this week. I feel so much better already. 4 times, with 4 different people based on the Instagram evidence I'd been carefully screenshotting and saving to a private folder. I'm so glad, I said. You look great. Derek's mother, Patricia, smiled at me from across the table. It's wonderful that you're finally learning to share, Sarah. Family is everything. In my first life, this comment would have hurt. I'd grown up in foster care, bounced between homes, never really belonging anywhere. Meeting Derek and being welcomed into his family had meant everything to me. Their approval had been oxygen. Now I just smiled and took another bite of roast chicken. Sarah's really changed, Derek said, and there was something almost suspicious in his tone. She's being so agreeable lately. Maybe I'm just happy. I said. Or maybe you're finally growing up, Patricia said. Maturity looks good on you. I thought about how Patricia had looked at me during the divorce proceedings, her face twisted with disgust, telling the mediator that I had always been financially irresponsible, that I had trapped her son with my poverty mentality. Thank you, Patricia, I said sweetly. That means a lot. Week 2, Maya brought 6 different friends to the gym. Week 3, she started running an informal training group. I knew because she created an Instagram story series called Maya's Fit Squad with 12 different women working out at Elite Fitness Club. The access logs were piling up. Every unauthorized entry was being recorded. Every face was being captured on the club's extensive security system. I went about my life. I worked. I went to the gym on my designated days. I had dinner with Derek's family. I smiled. And I waited. At work, my boss, Margaret, called me into her office. Sarah, I wanted to talk to you about the promotion. In my first life, I hadn't gotten this promotion. I'd been too stressed, too distracted by the gym lawsuit, too financially desperate. I'd made mistakes, missed deadlines. The promotion had gone to Josh, who'd used it as a stepping stone to leave for a competitor 6 months later. This time, I'd been focused, sharp, brilliant. I'm giving you the senior analyst position, Margaret said. You've been doing exceptional work these past few months. Congratulations. The promotion came with a $40,000 raise and a significant bonus structure. Thank you, I said. I won't let you down. I know you won't. I thought about the $200,000 debt from my first life. The way it had crushed me, defined me, limited every choice I could make. Not this time. This time, I was going to be just fine. Week 4, Maya's Instagram showed 23 different people using Elite Fitness Club. 23 violations. I'd been keeping meticulous records, screenshots, dates, times, names when I could get them. I had a spreadsheet. I had folders organized by week. I was ready. But I wanted more. In my first life, the lawsuit had come at 4 months, 37 violations, $370,000 in damages. I was going to beat that number. You know what's funny? Derek said one night as we were getting ready for bed. What? I asked, removing my earrings. You've been so different lately, nicer, more generous. He paused. It's almost suspicious. I looked at him in the mirror, Derek, who had promised to love me in sickness and in health. Derek, who had abandoned me when I needed him most. Derek, who had told me at our divorce that he'd never really loved me, that I'd been a practice wife, someone to be with while he figured out what he really wanted. I'm just trying to be a better person, I said. Well, keep it up. My parents actually like you now. In my first life, I would have been pathetically grateful for this crumb of approval. Now I just smiled and said nothing. Week 6, Maya started charging people. I found out through Christina's Instagram story, a screenshot of a Venmo transaction with the caption, "Worth every penny. Thanks at Maya Robinson for the Elite Fitness hookup. Best $50 I ever spent." Maya was selling access to my membership. The rage I felt was cold and clean. This was new. In my first life, she'd just been letting friends use it. Now she was profiting off it. This was even better. I took screenshots, I documented everything, I added it to my file. The number of violations climbed. 30, 40, 50, week 8, Derek's business venture failed. He'd invested $30,000 into a revolutionary crypto trading platform that turned out to be a scam. He was devastated. I can't believe this happened, he said, pacing our bedroom. We needed that money. We'll be okay, I said. Wendy? How can you be so calm? He demanded. Don't you understand? That was our savings. Our savings. My savings, really. Money I'd put away from my job while he played entrepreneur. In my first life, this had happened too. And then, 2 months later, the gym lawsuit had hit, and we'd been completely broke. We'll figure it out, I said. He looked at me like I was crazy. I didn't care. Week 10, Maya threw a party at Elite Fitness Club. They had event spaces available for members, which I'd never used. But Maya, apparently, had discovered them. She rented out the rooftop terrace for her birthday party. 63 people attended, according to the Instagram tags. 63 people who checked in using my membership access. The photos were everywhere. Maya in a designer dress, champagne glass raised, the city skyline behind her. The caption, "Blessed to celebrate another year at the most exclusive venue in the city. Thank you to my amazing sister-in-law for making this possible. #Elite Fitness Club, #birthday vibes, #blessed." I stared at the photos and felt nothing but satisfaction. The bill for the venue rental would be charged to my membership account. I'd deal with that later. For now, I just added 63 more violations to my spreadsheet. Week 12, the letter came. I was at work when I got the notification from my building's package management system, a certified letter from Elite Fitness Club's legal department. I waited until I got home to open it. Derek was at another networking event. The apartment was quiet. I made myself a cup of tea, sat at the kitchen table, and carefully opened the envelope. The letter was professional, cold, and devastating. Dear Ms. Parker, it has come to our attention through our comprehensive security and access control systems that your membership privileges have been subject to extensive unauthorized use. Our records indicate 247 separate violations of your membership agreement over the past 12 weeks. 247 violations, $10,000 per violation, $2,470,000 in total damages. The letter went on to detail the evidence they had compiled. Security footage, access logs, social media posts. They had everything. They were offering me two options: pay the full amount within 30 days or settle for $1,500,000 and voluntary termination of my membership. I read the letter 3 times, slowly, savoring every word. Then I called Maya. She answered on the 3rd ring, breathless. "Sarah, hey, I'm just leaving the gym actually. Wait, we need to talk," I said. "Oh, sure, what's up?" "I got a letter from Elite Fitness Club today." Silence. "Maya? What kind of letter?" Her voice had changed, smaller now. "A legal letter about unauthorized use of my membership." I've been using it, but you said I could." "I said you could use it, not your friends, not your sister, not the 63 people you invited to your birthday party. Not the dozens of people you've been charging money to access my membership." "I didn't know." "I gave you the guidelines, Maya. I highlighted the policy. I specifically told you not to let anyone else use it." "But I thought the damages are $2,470,000. I heard her gasp. "What?" $2,470,000. That's how much Elite Fitness Club is suing me for, because you've been running an illegal gym membership scam using my account. "That's insane." Her voice pitched into panic. "They can't do that. It's just a gym." "It's in the contract. The contract that you would have known about if you'd read the guidelines I gave you. The contract that specifically states $10,000 per violation." "Sarah, please, you have to fight this. Tell them it wasn't you. It was my membership. I'm responsible." "But I'll explain. I'll tell them it was me." "That doesn't matter. I'm the member. I'm liable." I could hear her starting to cry. "Sarah, please. I didn't mean for this to happen. I didn't know it was that serious. You have to help me fix this." "Help you?" I let the words hang there. "Maya, this is going to destroy me financially. I'm going to lose everything." "We'll figure it out. We're family. Derek will help, and his parents." "Derek just lost $30,000 in a scam. He doesn't have money to help, and your in-laws?" I laughed, and it came out bitter. "Patricia already told me that if I get into financial trouble, it's because of my poor background and lack of financial literacy." No. Maya was full-on sobbing now. "This can't be happening." "Sarah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me. Please." I thought about my first life, about how she'd laughed at my pain, about how no one in this family had stood by me. I need to go, I said. I have to call a lawyer. Wait, Sarah, we can fix this. I hung up. Then I poured myself a glass of wine and waited. Derek came home 2 hours later, his face pale. Maya called me, he said. I figured she would. Sarah, what the hell is going on? She said something about a lawsuit? $2 million? I handed him the letter. I watched his face as he read it, watched the color drain away, watched his hands start to shake. This is insane, he said. This can't be real. It's real. But we don't have this kind of money. We can't pay this. I know. Well, you have to fight it. Get a lawyer. This is ridiculous. The contract is clear, Derek. I'm liable for any unauthorized use. Maya used my membership for 12 weeks with hundreds of different people. She even charged money for it. The evidence is overwhelming. But you gave her permission. I gave her permission to use it herself, not to run a business with it, not to throw parties with it, not to violate the terms of my contract. He stared at me. Why did you give it to her if you knew the contract was so strict? And there it was, the moment I'd been waiting for. Because she asked, I said simply. Because she's family, because you told me family helps family. This is different. You should have been more careful. You're right, I said. I should have. But I trusted her. I trusted you. I trusted your family. Derek ran his hands through his hair. Okay, we need to think. Maya needs to help pay for this. She's the one who caused it. Maya doesn't have that kind of money. Then her husband, Marcus, the elementary school teacher? Derek, be serious. My parents, then. They'll help. I laughed. I couldn't help it. Your parents? The same parents who tell me every week how I need to learn to be more financially responsible. You think they're going to give us over $1 million? They'll have to. This is their daughter-in-law's fault. We'll see, I said. The family meeting was called for Sunday. Everyone was there. Derek's parents, Maya and Marcus, even Derek's sister Jennifer, who usually avoided family drama. I sat quietly while Derek explained the situation. I watched Patricia's face go from concerned to horrified to angry. $2 million? She said faintly. How is that even possible? The contract is very specific, I said. I tried to warn Maya. You should have warned her better, Patricia snapped. How could you let this happen? I gave her written guidelines. I highlighted the policy about sharing. I told her verbally, what more should I have done? You should have been more responsible. You're the one with the membership. Maya was crying again. I'm so sorry. I didn't think it was that big a deal. People share gym memberships all the time. Not luxury memberships, Marcus said quietly. He'd been reading the contract. Sarah, this contract it's ironclad. There's no wiggle room here. I know. Derek's father, Robert, cleared his throat. What about settling? Can we negotiate this down? They've offered a settlement of $1.5 million, I said. The room went silent. We need to pay it, Patricia finally said. All of us. We'll split it between the families. Split it? I raised my eyebrows. You want to split it? Well, we can't let Sarah lose everything. She's family. The word tasted like ashes coming from her mouth. Family. After everything they'd said about me, everything they'd thought about me. That's very generous, I said slowly. But that would be, let's see. There are 3 family units here. That's $500,000 per family. Robert went pale. We don't have that kind of liquid capital. We could take out loans, Patricia said, but her voice was weak. Loans that would need to be paid back, I said. With interest for years, maybe decades. Jennifer spoke up for the first time. Why should we pay for Maya's mistake? I didn't do anything wrong. She's family, Patricia said, but her conviction was fading. So is Sarah, Jennifer shot back, and we've treated her like an outsider for years. Now we're supposed to bankrupt ourselves for her? The room erupted in arguments. Maya crying harder, Marcus trying to calm everyone down, Derek and his father yelling at each other about responsibility and family obligations. I sat in the center of it all, quiet, watching my first life play out differently. In my first life, they'd abandoned me, told me it was my fault, my problem, my responsibility. Now, faced with shared consequences, they were tearing themselves apart. Finally, Patricia raised her voice. Enough! Everyone, enough! The room fell silent. Sarah, Patricia said, and I could see the calculation in her eyes. What if Maya takes responsibility? What if she admits in court that she was the one who violated the contract? Would they go after her instead? I already asked my lawyer. I lied smoothly. I hadn't hired a lawyer yet. The contract is with me. I'm the member. I'm liable. It doesn't matter who actually used the membership. There has to be something. There is, I said. Everyone looked at me. I could declare bankruptcy. The words dropped like stones. Bankruptcy? Derek said. Sarah, no, that would ruin your credit for years. It would ruin our credit, I corrected. We're married. It would affect both of us. His face went white. But if I do that, I continued, the debt goes away. Elite Fitness Club would have to write it off. You can't, Patricia said. That's fraud. They could come after you criminally. It's not fraud. It's a legitimate legal option for dealing with overwhelming debt. I looked around the room. Unless someone here wants to help me pay the settlement? Silence. I thought so. I didn't declare bankruptcy. Instead, I did something better. I hired the best lawyer I could afford, which, with my new salary and bonus, was pretty damn good. I had him send Elite Fitness Club a detailed response to their lawsuit. In it, we didn't deny the violations. We couldn't. The evidence was overwhelming. Instead, we provided evidence of our own. Screenshots of Maya's Instagram posts, records of her charging people for access, proof that she had been operating an illegal business using my membership. And we made an argument. I had been the victim of fraud. Maya had deceived me, used my trust, and profited from it. While I was technically liable under the contract, there was another party who had enriched themselves through illegal activity. We suggested that Elite Fitness Club might want to pursue Maya directly for restitution. The letter was delivered on a Friday. By Monday, Maya had received her own letter from Elite Fitness Club's legal department. She called me hysterical. They're suing me, Sarah. They're suing me for the money you owe them. They can't do that. They can, I said calmly. You committed fraud. You profited from illegal activity. They have every right to pursue you for damages. But I don't have $1.5 million. I don't have anything close to that. I know. Sarah, please, you have to help me. Tell them I didn't know. Tell them it was a mistake. Was it a mistake when you charged people money to use my membership? Silence. That's what I thought. Please, she whispered. I have a child. I have a family. This will destroy us. I thought about sitting in the lawyer's office during my divorce, signing papers that acknowledged $200,000 in debt that would follow me for years. I thought about Derek's face when he'd told me he was leaving, that I was too much baggage now. You should have thought about that before, I said, and hung up. The legal battle lasted 6 months. Elite Fitness Club went after both of us. They wanted their money and they didn't care where it came from. But my lawyer was good. We built a case that Maya had been the primary bad actor, that she had deceived me, that she had profited from the violations. We showed that I had provided clear warnings and guidelines that she had ignored. The court agreed to split the liability. I was responsible for 30% of the damages. Maya was responsible for 70%. My portion came to $450,000, which I could settle for $300,000. Maya's portion came to $1,050,000, which she could settle for $700,000. I paid my settlement using my savings, my bonus, and a small loan that I could pay off within 2 years at my new salary. Maya had to declare bankruptcy. Her credit was destroyed. Her marriage fell apart under the financial stress. Marcus left her after finding out she'd hidden the extent of her Instagram business from him. She had to move back in with Patricia and Robert, Derek's parents. Tried to help her, but the legal fees alone drained what savings they had. They had to sell their vacation home. The family turned on itself. Jennifer refused to speak to Maya. Robert blamed Patricia for raising a daughter who would be so irresponsible. Patricia blamed me for not being more clear about the rules. Derek blamed everyone, and slowly, he started to blame me. "This is your fault," he said one night, 6 months after the settlement. We were in our bedroom. I was packing a suitcase. "My fault," I said calmly. "You gave her the membership. You knew how strict the contract was. You should have never let her use it." "You told me to let her use it. You said family helps family." "I didn't tell you to let her destroy our lives." "She destroyed her own life, Derek. I'm fine." "Fine? You just paid $300,000 and took out a loan. How is that fine?" "I have a good job. I can pay the loan off in 2 years. I'll be okay." "What about us? What about my family?" And there it was. "What about them?" I asked. "My mother is devastated. My father's health is failing from the stress. Maya's life is ruined. And you don't even care." I tried to warn Maya. I tried to protect myself. She made her choices. You could have fought harder. You could have taken full responsibility instead of throwing her under the bus. I stopped packing and looked at him, really looked at him. You want me to have taken full responsibility? You want me to have declared bankruptcy, ruined my credit, lost everything to protect your sister from the consequences of her own actions? She's family. What am I? He didn't have an answer to that. I'm your wife, Derek. I'm supposed to be your family too. But you've never once asked me how I'm doing through all this. You've never once taken my side. You've never once told your family to apologize to me for what Maya did. Because you're not blameless in this. Neither is she. But I'm the only one who's paid for it. That's not... I'm done, I said quietly. Done with what? With this. With you. With your family. I'm filing for divorce. He stared at me. You can't be serious. I've never been more serious. Sarah, come on. Don't be dramatic. We can work through this. No, I said, we can't. The divorce was quick and clean. Derek had no money to fight it. His failed business venture and the stress from the lawsuit had left him broke and depressed. I kept the apartment. I'd been the one paying the mortgage anyway. I kept my savings, my job, my life. Derek moved back in with his parents into the house where Maya was already living with her son. I heard through mutual friends that the atmosphere there was toxic. 3 adults who blamed each other for everything, trapped together by financial necessity. Patricia never spoke to me again. At the final divorce hearing, she wouldn't even look at me. I didn't care. 1 year after the letter from Elite Fitness Club, I was free. The loan was nearly paid off. My credit was intact. My career was thriving. I'd gotten another promotion and was now managing a team. I joined a new gym. A regular, normal gym that cost $50 a month and had a simple 2-page contract. I worked out in peace, no longer looking over my shoulder, no longer worried about who might be using my membership without permission. I was happy. One day, I ran into Maya at the grocery store. She looked terrible. Tired, older than her years, her clothes worn and cheap. She saw me and froze. We stared at each other across the produce section. Sarah, she finally said. Maya, how have you been? Good, I said. Really good. Her eyes filled with tears. I'm so sorry for everything. I know I ruined your life. You didn't ruin my life, I interrupted. I'm fine, better than fine, actually. She blinked. But the lawsuit, I paid it off. I'm clear. Oh. She looked confused. Derek said you were struggling. Derek was wrong. We stood there in uncomfortable silence. I lost everything, Maya said finally. My marriage, my credit, my home. All because I was stupid and didn't read some contract. I thought about correcting her, about telling her she lost everything because she was greedy, because she lied, because she charged people money to use something that wasn't hers, because she threw a party for 63 people without thinking about consequences. But I didn't. I'm sorry that happened to you, I said instead. It wasn't exactly a lie. I wasn't sorry it happened, but I was sorry that she had to live with it. Or maybe I wasn't even sorry about that. I have to go, I said. Wait, Maya grabbed my arm. Can I ask you something? What? Did you know? Her eyes were searching mine. When you gave me the membership, did you know what would happen? I could have lied. I could have told her no, that I had trusted her, that I had never imagined she would abuse my generosity. But I was done lying to protect people who had never protected me. Yes, I said simply. I knew exactly what would happen. Her face went white. You set me up? I gave you an opportunity. You made your own choices. But you knew I knew you would do exactly what you did, and I stopped myself. I knew you would do exactly what you always do. Use people. Take advantage. Believe you're entitled to whatever you want without consequences. That's not fair. Fair, I laughed. Maya, you destroyed me in another life. You ruined me financially, and when I was drowning, you laughed. You all did. So yes, I gave you the rope, but you're the one who hanged yourself with it. Another life? What are you talking about? I smiled. Nothing. Just that karma is real, and it's been a long time coming. I walked away, leaving her standing there in the produce section, tears streaming down her face. And I felt nothing but peace. 2 years later, I met someone new. His name was James. He was kind, thoughtful, and had his life together. He had a good job, his own apartment, and no toxic family members that I had to manage. On our third date, he asked me about my gym membership. I belong to Planet Fitness, I said. Nothing fancy. Really? My ex was obsessed with this luxury gym downtown, elite fitness club or something. She spent a fortune on it. My heart skipped. Really? Yeah, then she got sued for letting people use her membership. Apparently violated some contract clause. It was a whole mess. Honestly, one of the reasons we broke up. She had terrible judgment about things like that. Sounds complicated, I said carefully. It was. I'm just glad I'm past all that drama now. I like simple. Honest. Straightforward. Me too, I said. And I meant it. 5 years after my rebirth, I was living a completely different life. I was a senior director at my company, making 3 times what I'd made when I was married to Derek. I lived in a beautiful apartment in the part of the city I'd always dreamed of. I was engaged to James, who loved me for exactly who I was. I rarely thought about Derek or his family anymore, but sometimes, when I was at my regular, boring gym, I would remember. I would remember the look on Maya's face when she realized what she'd done. I would remember the way Derek's family had turned on each other. I would remember the way they'd all blamed me right up until I walked away and left them to their own mess. And I would smile. Because in my first life, they had destroyed me. But in this life, I had let them destroy themselves. And that made all the difference. The last time I saw anyone from Derek's family was at a coffee shop 7 years after the rebirth. It was Patricia. She was alone, looking older and frailer than I remembered. She saw me and, to my surprise, approached. "Sarah," she said. "Patricia." We stood awkwardly for a moment. "How are you?" she asked, and there was something genuine in her voice, something I'd never heard before. "I'm well, you?" Managing, she paused. I heard you're engaged. Congratulations. Thank you. And your career? Derek mentioned you're doing very well. I am. She looked down at her coffee cup. I owe you an apology. I waited. We treated you terribly before, during, and after the lawsuit. We blamed you for everything when you were just trying to be kind to Maya, to be family. Yes, I said simply. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just wanted you to know that I see it now, how wrong we were. I studied her face. She meant it. The years had worn her down, taught her something about consequences and responsibility. I appreciate you saying that, I said. How did you do it? She asked suddenly. How did you survive all of it? The lawsuit, the divorce, everything? You came out stronger, the rest of us. She trailed off. I thought about telling her the truth, about the rebirth, the second chance, the careful planning and revenge. But what would be the point? I just decided to stop letting other people define my worth, I said instead. I stopped trying to make people love me who were never going to value me. I focused on myself. She nodded slowly. I wish I'd taught my children that. It's not too late, isn't it? She looked at me with tired eyes. Maya is still living with us. She can't hold down a job. The bankruptcy made it too hard. Derek is on his third failed business idea, draining what little we have left. Jennifer doesn't speak to any of us. Robert's health has never recovered from the stress. I didn't know what to say to that. You were right to leave, Patricia said. I see that now. You saved yourself. Yes, I said, I did. She smiled sadly. I hope you're happy, Sarah, truly. You deserve it. I am happy. And I was. On my wedding day 3 years later, I thought about all the lives I could have lived. The first life where I'd been destroyed by debt and betrayal. This life where I'd turned the tables and walked away free. And all the other lives I might have chosen if I'd been given the chance to be reborn again and again. But I didn't need another rebirth. This life was enough. James kissed me at the altar, and I kissed him back, and I felt the weight of the past finally lift away. I had been given a second chance, and I'd used it not just for revenge, but for freedom. For the chance to build a life that was mine, untainted by people who would never value me. For the opportunity to be happy on my own terms. And as I looked out at the wedding guests, my friends, my colleagues, my chosen family, I realized that the best revenge had never been the lawsuit or the money or the destruction of Maya's life. The best revenge was this: being genuinely, completely, perfectly happy, while they remained trapped in the consequences of their own choices. I had let Maya use my gym membership. The contract violation fee was $10,000, but the price of their arrogance, their cruelty, their entitlement, that was something they would be paying for the rest of their lives, and I would spend the rest of mine being free.